ASMR. Tonight, we're slowing things down and talking basketball. Not just any basketball, but one of the most surprising NBA off-seasons Philadelphia has ever experienced. For years, 76er fans have lived through the hope, frustration, heartbreak, and constant questions. Would Joel Embiid ever have the right supporting cast? Would the process finally pay off? Could Philadelphia ever convince multiple superstars to join forces? This summer, those questions finally received an answer, and the answer was louder than anyone could have imagined. Jaylen Brown arrived. Then, as the basketball world was trying to process that blockbuster move, another bombshell dropped. LeBron James became a Philadelphia 76er. Even now, those words feel strange to say out loud. LeBron James, wearing Sixer colors, the player who has battled Philadelphia for nearly 2 decades, is now trying to bring the city its first NBA championship since 1983. Tonight, we'll discuss how it happened, why it happened, and what this means for the future of the NBA's most passionate fan bases. So sit back, relax, and let's begin. It's impossible to understand this off-season without understanding everything that came before it. Philadelphia spent years building around Joel Embiid, one of the league's most dominant centers, an MVP, a scoring champion, a defensive anchor, a player capable of taking over an entire basketball game. Yet every postseason, something seemed to go wrong. Injuries, poor shooting, roster imbalance, or simply running into another great team at exactly the wrong time. The process produced an MVP, but it never produced a championship. Every offseason fans waited, every trade deadline fans hoped, every playoff exit, the questions become louder. Was Joel Embiid ever going to get the help he truly needed? Then, with the biggest surprise of the summer, Jaylen Brown, one of the NBA's best two-way wings, a player capable of guarding multiple positions, creating his own offense, running in transition, attacking the basket, and also knocking down big shots when games matter most. For years, Philadelphia searched for that perfect wing player, someone who could score without dominating the basketball, someone who could defend elite wings night after night, someone who could ease the burden placed on Joel Embiid. Jaylen Brown checks every one of those boxes. Instead of asking Embiid to carry every possession, Philadelphia now has another all-NBA talent sharing the responsibility. That changes everything. Lost within all the headlines is another player, Tyrese Maxey. One of the fastest, most exciting guards in basketball. Maxey's development has been remarkable. From promising young scorer to all-star, to now becoming the primary point guard for perhaps the most talented team he has ever played on. Unlike previous seasons, Maxey no longer has to create every big moment. Defenses can no longer trap him without consequences. Leave Brown open. That's dangerous. Ignore LeBron. Impossible. Double Embiid. Good luck. For the first time in years, Philadelphia's offense has answers to almost every defensive scheme. With the announcement that stunned the basketball world, LeBron James entering yet another season, still being one of the smartest players ever to touch a basketball. His scoring may not be exactly what it once was, but his vision, leadership, passion, IQ remains almost unmatched. Adding LeBron isn't simply adding points, it's adding another coach on the floor, someone who sees plays before they happen, someone who makes everyone else better. Young players improve around LeBron, veterans also sign LeBron James. But assembling talent is only the beginning. The real challenge is transforming a collection of stars into a championship team. We'll examine how this roster fits together because basketball has always been about chemistry, not simply talent. With that being said, Nick Nurse has never been afraid to experiment. Throughout his coaching career, he has shown a willingness to change defensive possession by possession. Sometimes his team switches everything. Sometimes they trap aggressively. Other times they fall back into a zone. Opposing offenses rarely become comfortable. Now imagine having Joel Embiid protecting the rim, Jaylen Brown guarding the opposing team's best wing, Tyrese Maxey using his speed to pressure the basketball, and LeBron James reading everything before it develops. On paper, this may become one of the smartest defensive teams in the NBA. Not necessarily because everyone is the quickest, but because basketball intelligence can erase many mistakes. For years, Philadelphia's offense often depended on one question. Can Joel Embiid remain healthy? Will he be able to carry us tonight? Now perhaps that question changes. Instead, it becomes how do we make everyone dangerous? Joel may not need to score 40 points. 30 might be enough, or even 25, because every defensive decision comes with consequence. Double Embiid and Brown find space, collapse into the paint, and Maxey explodes towards the rim. Help on penetration, and LeBron finds the open shooter. This offense has options, and options are what championship teams usually possess. One element that won't appear inside a box score is leadership. LeBron James has played in countless playoff games, finals, Olympics, Game 7s. Pressure is no longer something he fears, it's something he understands. Young players often speak about learning how to prepare simply by watching him. Film study, recovery, nutrition, practice habits. Those lessons cannot be measured by statistics, yet they often determine whether talented teams become championship teams. Perhaps the biggest question surrounding this roster has nothing to do with basketball strategy. It is health. With Joel Embiid battling multiple injuries throughout his career, LeBron, despite his incredible longevity, is entering the later years of one of the greatest careers professional sports has ever witnessed. Managing minutes may become just as important as winning games during the regular season. Philadelphia doesn't need to finish with the league's best record. They need to arrive in April healthy, because once the playoffs begins, everything changes. Of course, Philadelphia won't travel on an easy road. The Eastern Conference remains extremely competitive. Every contender believes the season could belong to them. Every playoff series becomes a chess match. Coaches make adjustments. Stars rise to the occasion. Unexpected heroes emerge. That is what makes the NBA playoffs so captivating. No championship is guaranteed, not even for teams loaded with talent. When historians look back on this offseason, they may remember it as the moment Philadelphia changed its identity. For years, the Sixers were known for potential. Now they are known for expectations. That difference is enormous. Hope is exciting. Expectations carry pressure. Every loss will be examined. Every lineup will be questioned. Every playoff game will feel larger than the last. But that pressure also means something else. People believe this team can win. Whether this season ends